right now, thanks to dinner.
Hey, Flosstube.
Greetings!
I'm Laura.
Hi, Joe.
Welcome to the Slovak Farm.
How are you, friend? Oh, this one's a crazy farm. I would like to welcome back all of our currently subscribed people. If you're new here, hit the button. You know which one. YouTube ain't new. I've been watching YouTube for so long. And that about sums up the channel. At least my part of it.
It's Monday, October 19th.
Yep. We're filming a little late because Joe took a while getting home because he had stuff to do.
It's not that late. Not much happened this week. Not much happened this week.
I would like to sum up buying and selling a house. Hurry up and wait.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
I'm not fond of that part. How has y'all's week been? Ours has been very uneventful, and that's good. Except for the fact that we've had to fight with my work toilet. It's broken. They don't want to believe it's broken because they don't want to buy a new one. That's what my tap does. Okay.
Rather, actually, it was really fitting considering. That was not on purpose. I wish I could say it was. I broke her, folks.
Yes, you did. I failed.
I love you.
I failed big time. I love you. I will link it below. I guest starred on Shady Tree Stitch's homework video this week. We discussed homework for various groups.
Oh, that's what you were doing last night.
That's what I was. That's what the Amazonian plot to take over the world was last night.
Yes, that is what I called it because it was a whole bunch of women planning, and I got kicked out of the room.
Well,
literally, I was told I had to go upstairs and be quiet.
It's us planning, talking about the homework for the various groups, because there are a lot now, or stitching assignments, or whatever you want to call it, for the various groups that we're in. Because you
mean there's a lot of excuses to cross stitch?
Exactly.
I'm sorry. I'm just gonna sum it up. It's like the cross stitch people want to know what fantasy football is like, so this is what they're gonna do. It's fantasy football for cross stitchers. There we go.
Okay, so you want to read our shout outs? There are a couple questions I don't have to answer, but
Lynn, Teresa, Glenna, Bridget, Andrea, Susie Q. Scott.
She was one of our new subscribers last week.
I didn't know she got right. You acted accused. You're hurting my brain. You don't. I've grown numb to it over the years.
Let's see. There was a couple questions on here. Gotta find them. Talking about things. Lynn wanted to know if our new house is closer to my parents. Yes. It's about half the time to my parents. It's not quite.
It's half the time to her parents if it isn't snowing.
Well,
it'll take about the same amount of time if it is snowing.
It'll be fine. It'll be fine.
So 6 months out of the year. Not that bad. It just feels
not that bad.
No, the problem with Ohio is we get about 4 months of winter. The problem is it moves. Like sometimes you'll get it until January, and then it'll last till May. Like some people who had got a snow day on April 1st.
Yeah, I was like 12.
Still happened.
Right. Lynn wants to know what you're going to work on when you're done with Dragons of Sumatra. He's like, I ain't thought that far ahead. I ain't that close to being
The
done.
Zelda map.
The Zelda map.
Though I might start something smaller. I've actually been really itching to do this trick or treat thing I got. And by the time I get this done, it'll probably be around October-ish, actually probably like August of 2022. Let's be real. Hopefully 2021, but...
So. And Lynn actually threw out a suggestion. If I have time, I don't think I have anything with a tractor on it. Because if I had something with a tractor, if I had a farm with a tractor on it, tractor pulling's a sport. And I wish I had something that I'm gonna look and see if I have anything with a tractor on it. Because I will straight up go and do that prompt just to do that.
You do have a pattern of a tractor somewhere.
I do, but it's not started. I don't really want to start anything right now because #moving.
That's actually the main reason I'm sticking with dragons. I don't have to go find other flosses.
All right. Let us move on to whips.
Yay! Work in progress for those who don't know.
Whips.
I'm a goober.
Whips.
Here, if anybody's surprised you haven't been paying attention. Ink Circles, Dragons of Sumatra. It is on 16 count. Picture this, plus Thunderstorm.
Wait, you're stitching on what?
This is my project. This is my project beating my wife. Any questions?
You wouldn't dare.
No, I've met your family. And there's also you to worry about. You should see this woman's cast iron collection. I should know. I bought it. Hey, it covered Christmas, birthdays, and Valentine's Day. Yes, she actually accepts cast irons for Valentine's Day presents happily for 3 years.
I've lost one of my whips, and I don't know where it is. And I don't care to tear the house apart to find it right now. So, last week we were searching for items in the haystack. And the missing whip is my White Pumpkins by the Bay Needle Arts. I have no idea what I did with it. Well, so that was 100 stitches. I'm going to do the running total because I didn't total it this week. So then we had to find something with a drink. A pumpkin spice latte, I think it was. We had to stitch on something with a cup or a drink. And Mrs. Claus is definitely brewing a warm, tasty beverage down there in her kitchen. So I did, 212 stitches on this. I did not get all of the haystack prompts done because some of them I didn't have pieces for, and I just ran out of time.
Yeah, life's been a lot nuts.
I think it was something close to 3,000 stitches last week to complete the week. I don't know. It was... It's okay.
Sorry.
Sneeze fit.
6 sneezes later.
Yeah. So, this was when I got done on Santa House. I am almost done. There's, I think, I have to finish his coat and his pants. And there's a mouse in there, and then outline everything, and I'm done. Like everything in this block. Everything else is outlined. This is on 14 count opalescence Mountain Rose by Silk Weavers. It's his coat and his hat, not his coat and his pants. He's wearing his pants. He's He's wearing his pants, dummy.
Oh, it was going to bed.
So I did 212 stitches on that. I had to stitch on something with a vegetable. With a vegetable. So I busted out knee high by Hands On Design. And I put 300 stitches into that. I put more than 300 stitches into that. Something did not get counted. Maybe I did only put 300 stitches. But I got the green hill done. This is on a piece of hand dyed by the Slovak farm. I think it's a 32 count even weave. In heirloom. So the little hill is all done. A lot more stitching involved in this than it looks. Just saying. Just saying. Little hill was almost one full skein.
Hey, honey.
What?
That is every stitching project ever.
It's every project I come up with ever.
No. Question for the day. Comment below. Who here has gone, oh, that'll be an easy project. 3 weeks later, you're still going, why isn't this done yet? Or am I just the only person that was just totally misjudged?
Okay. Found my missing project. By the Painting Needle Arts, White Pumpkin. It's on a piece of 16 count. Hand dyed by the Slovak farm. Something. I believe it's
Hud?
I think it's mist gray, but it's very close to Cleveland crud.
Which means in my book it'll always be
Which
crud.
means it's Cleveland crud. I have learned with a couple of the colors that I have, they're very close, so I'm just gonna. Anyways. So that was 100 stitches. The fence is almost done. I think, what do I have left? I have to finish stitching the fence and back stitch all of the vines. And that's it, because I'm not putting the Raven or Happy Halloween on it. Because I have nothing against Halloween. I like. I have nothing against Halloween. I like seasonal decor as far as my cross stitch goes because I like it out. Having put all of that time and effort and blah 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 into it, I like being able to leave it out for more than a month.
No, that's when you just do one for every holiday and you have a nice little mural for every holiday up all year. Just put a big old clock hand that spin around.
So it was at this point in the week that I decided I was going to reverse course and start from the bottom up and get the big stitches done because the 500 stitch count project was 10 tokens. So, to find the needle in the haystack, we could stitch on anything we wanted. So I pulled out One Nation because I haven't stitched on it in a while. And I wanted to stitch on it. Sounds like a good idea to me. Could you go grab Raven Queen's envelope? This is on a piece of hand dyed by the Slovak farm, 28 count dirt road.
Please don't sing country music. Please don't sing country music. Please
Yes, the white is absolutely washed out on camera. No, it shows up on in real life. We're chilling on a dirt road. Laid back swerving like we're George Jones. Okay. I was stitching on the blue. I just have the where are we at? These fingers. So what I have left to do on the blue for the border, for flag is basically like this part on this side. So we're almost done with the blue. And that was 503 stitches.
Dun dun dun.
That was a lot of blue stitches. A lot of blue stitches.
Flip.
I don't know. Okay. So then, I picked the easiest thing that I had, which was to stitch on which was to find the scarecrow, which was to stitch on something with a scarecrow or a raven. So I busted out Raven Queen. Raven Queen.
Raven Queen, Raven Queen.
And I also stitched on her for, I used her to create a costume for the monthly. Lynn used her Raven Queen to make me a princess. I used my Raven Queen to make Lynn a ghost because it's spooky.
Actually, I see Regina doing that to somebody.
Also true.
She has no problem with homicide.
So, I did a total of 923 stitches on her. I did 120 more stitches than I needed to for the costume. Because what I was doing is, what I ended up doing is, could you hold? Please, thank you.
I found out why she wanted me to help her.
So what I ended up doing was, like in here, I stitched a little bit and then kind of closed it off. And basically just made a fill-in block for myself in a couple different sections, and one of the fill-in blocks was a little bit bigger than I thought it was. So, but that just made it easy to stitch. There's a lot of black on this dress, and doing that fill-in was just easy.
Well, you'd like that dress in real life.
Mindless, and I would rock that dress in real life if I could. I'm not that skinny.
Modifications can be made. Also, I'll give you more of the shoulder pads.
Yes.
Or shoulder.
This is the Hot Mess Express tonight.
Choo choo!
Okay, so for my final project for the week, I made someone in the Daily 30 group a sexy maid costume by stitching on something that needed cleaned. And if you've ever lived on a farm, you know what barn cleaning duty's about.
Let me see. That stinks to clean. That stinks to clean. That really stinks to clean. And that is a nightmare to clean. Plus, these are also fun to clean up after, too.
Yeah, there's sheepies on there. So, I did 512 stitches on Scenic Farm. I'm almost done with this barn. I just have its roof to go. So, I'm stitching. So my plan is to get this side done, because this is where the chart halves. So I'm going to get this side done, even though I have working copy. I'm going to get this side done, do the back stitch, and then come back and do this side. And I'm going to do the back stitch in half chunks, just because of the way the back stitch kind of overlaps stuff. That's what I figured would be the easiest. So that was my stitching for the week. I did 2,550 stitches.
And you didn't do all of the
And I didn't do all of the weeklies. No haul this week. No haul this week, so let's take the Hot Mess Express to Plans and Announcement Station.
Whoop, whoop! Whips, the sequel.
Whips the sequel. Totally forgot to add Crystal Academy last week was on field trip. So we could stitch on anything we wanted. We had to do. Well, I think there were a couple of variations, but most of the paths I chose were 200 stitches each. So it started with stepping through a portal, and we ended up in a mysterious land. And headmistress didn't know. Headmistress knew where she was taking us, but didn't recognize it. Something was wrong with it. So now we get to figure out what's wrong. So we had choices. We could go to the fields. We could go to the mountains. We could go to the forest. We could go to the lake. We could go to the river and the swamps. I chose to go to the lake because...
Especially a lake to the north. You feel right at home.
Exactly, a lake to the north. Feel right at home. So once we were at the lake, we stood around wondering, looking at our lake. There was an island out to the middle. So we had a choice. Standing on the edge of the lake, we could either cast a spell that we have learned and see what happens, or attempt to conjure up a picnic. I chose to cast a spell that we had learned. Now, we have learned a couple spells. One blows things apart, one binds things together, and one turns everything into ice. I chose to cast the ice spell. I channeled my inner Elsa and let it go.
Ah!
I wish I would have thought of that last night in the homework video.
Ow! Ow! That pun was just... Ow! Oh, the cold bothered me anyway.
So my ice blast formed a nice, lovely little frozen pathway across the lake to the island. So I could either go across my little pathway and explore the island or cast another spell. I chose to explore the island because I wasn't taking my chances casting another spell.
I would have casted the freezing
the
spell
record-
again.
For the record, if you chose to cast the binding spell, you accidentally bind your classmates.
What happens with the other one?
The blow apart spell blew open a hole in the ground under the lake. Okay. And if you attempted to conjure a picnic, well, you ended up ultimately summoning ants.
Oh no! The Geico commercial! Run!
Oh, you could also cast the unlock spell, but nothing happened because there's nothing there to unlock.
I want to unlock the key to the mystery.
I chose to explore the island. And while exploring the island, we came across some trees and a pile of instruments. It's kind of odd.
The explosions found the instruments.
So, I decided to choose to explore the instruments, which was my better option. I found out because those who explored the trees found snakes in the trees. Yeah, glad I went with the instruments.
I need the pipe! I need the pipe! I need to get these things out of here. Lead them across the ice bridge right back to your teacher. Teacher, look what I found! Run away.
So if you blew up and you made the tunnel, you got to go through the tunnel ultimately and end up on the island, exploring the island like we did. So if you chose to examine the instruments, you had a choice in the pile of instruments. You could pick up and examine a jar with some funky brown fog in it. You could pick... You could pick up a pillow that had some cross-stitching on it. Or you could examine a bulging flute.
I'm sorry, but the first and the last one sounds like metaphors for malactions.
What do you think Laura chose to do? Laura picked up the flute. Okay. So, if you picked up the pillow, however, you found that the fabric was stained from being outside in the dirt, and the home sweet home had been X'd out. The home and sweets had been X'd out and written in, and go had been written above it in what we're gonna assume is red paint. And not blood. I'm just gonna go with that assumption. So if we picked up the flute, which I picked up the flute, we ended up playing musical notes, shaking the snake skin. It was snake skins, not snakes. Shaking the snake skins in the trees, freaking everybody out, and stopping after a few notes because, yeah, that's not a good idea.
Laura would have kept playing, laughing while she was doing it.
Might have.
And was it a fart jar?
It was totally a fart jar.
Guess which one I would have done?
A stench. Okay, so this is what they wrote. A stench so vile, so overpowering, so all-consuming has invaded the nostrils of anyone within a 50-foot radius. Jar opener. Drops the jar, squeezing her nostrils tight. Oh my god, it smells like 100 trucker farts out of greasy butt cracks. I give absolute love to
That was an interesting
the
one.
gals writing this stuff for Crystal Academy because it is phenomenal. It is well thought out. It's great.
And I guess I guess like I probably can't join. They probably hate it if I join because I had to put slash marks in there.
And of course, after she opens jars and releases 100 trucker farts, we find a box. I mean, hey, there's a box on the ground. We can either open the box or not.
What was that exploding spell again? Box be opened! The explosion.
I opened the box.
What'd you get?
So, we got covered in purple goo.
So Laura was happy.
Yep, purple's my favorite color. And so far, that's the end. That's all we have progressed in the field trip. We don't know what happens after the purple goo. Yes, dear.
So, are the people who run this also D&D DMs?
I honestly don't know.
Because it sounds like it. Because they're doing the exact same stuff. Anybody who plays D&D, back me up here. If you see a box in the middle of the room, you check it before you open it.
You just open that box. Okay.
Because it usually isn't filled with purple glue. It's usually filled with purple slime that eats you.
Well, we don't know what the purple goo does yet. So there's that.
Laura's going to turn into a purple unicorn.
All right, so now we're ready for
Plans
and
and
announcements.
announcements. Dun dun dun.
The Hot Mess Express has pulled into Plans and Announcement Station.
We're not a hot mess.
I am a hot mess.
I cleaned this house. I cleaned you too. I'll take you outside the house.
Dude, it is cold out there. You are not hosing me down.
Actually, I don't have to hose you down. I'm just going to leave you in the front yard for 5 minutes.
That is true. It's raining. He's not wrong. Okay.
Otherwise known as, you get to walk the dog.
I already walked her in the rain.
It's all right. And she lollygagged.
And walked up the street and back down it. Plans.
I don't plan. I stitch on my existential mantra. That's the one benefit of being the lazy monogamous stitcher I am. I don't have to worry about all this crazy stuff. I have one thing I'm doing, and I don't want to stitch on anything else. I have my dragons. Dragons are all you need in this world. They can cook your food. They can cook your enemies. What more do you need? They can fly. They can fire. They can fly. They can fight. And they can Julia Lambe.
Okay. Well, Daily 30 this week is obviously Crystal Academy will be the continuation of the field trip. I'll tell you when we get there.
Oh Lord. Definitely a Hogwarts level field trip. Let's see how many students we can kill on the field trip.
Daily 30 this week. Myth and Magic, we are still traveling about the kingdom, visiting places and collecting shiny pebbles.
And Daily 30 is a closed group.
Yes, Daily 30 is a closed group. We are doing potions, spells, and things this week. Brews this week. I think is what you titled it. So, we have 10 spells to choose from. But we only have enough ingredients to do 5 of the potions, spells, brews. So you have to pick 5. You have to combine the ingredient. You have to do 3 ingredients per potion, spell, brew. And the ingredients, there's a set of that are worth 50, a set that's worth 100, and a set that's worth 150. So I just picked one from each set for each potion, elixir, brew, tonic, whatever I was making, because it just made it 300 stitches across the board for all of them. Easy peasy. My brain is warped and I can't remember squat anymore, so make it easy on myself. So I picked out my 5. I don't remember what the other 5 were. If you want to know, click the link below, watch the homework video, because we talk about all of them. At this point, I don't remember, and I don't feel like looking them up.
I know it's late. It's like almost 8 o'clock.
It is almost 8 o'clock, and I have to edit this together tonight.
I'm sorry.
Because if it's like last week, I had trouble getting it to compile. Okay, so
that should be even easier once you move.
So the first one I picked was gnat juice. G-N-A-T, as in the tiny, tiny bug that flies in your face and annoys you. Guess what gnat juice does? It turns you into a teeny, teeny, tiny bug and it flies in your face. And you can fly in the face of your enemies and annoy them for 2 hours. I'd do something like that. We had to stitch on something with some tiny motifs. I chose cardinal points because it's got little tiny motifs on it. Little tiny flowers and little tiny
Can
flowers.
I guess for
what?
Can I get the brown bottle from the other group as the gnat, fly in front of people and open the bottle?
That'd be funny. Okay.
I'm evil.
A sleep elixir, which puts you to sleep for a nice, lovely 8-hour sleep. Yeah, uninterrupted 8 hours of sleep. Yeah, right. Not in my life. But I chose Santa's house because, hey, there's a bed and nothing more associates with sleep than a bed.
Good food. Warm house.
A dream tonic. I forget what the dream tonic does.
Makes you relive your years of the 70s?
Dream tonic. You have stitch on something with cloud on it, and Scenic Farm has cloud on it. Youth potion takes you back to being 18. Can I go back with all the knowledge I have now?
I'm sorry. I was not even a senior in high school yet. No.
Sorry. We have to stitch on our youngest whip. That's debatable. I think I have 3 whips that I started in like the same.
Hey, hon. Due to the fact that this keeps happening, maybe you should put the date of start on the back of all your whips.
The problem is, I think at least 2 of them were started on the same day.
But it would help.
Because White Pumpkin, Knee High, and Fresh Eggs Farm were all started the same week. And I'm pretty sure I started White Pumpkin and Fresh Eggs Farm on the same day. I think. So I am doing Fresh Egg Farm. It's close to being finished, so I don't even know if there's 300 stitches on it. There might be. I haven't looked at it. And then the other one I picked was the Tranquility Potion. I don't remember exactly what it said that did. But we had to stitch on something that had... We have to stitch on something that we can say is a healing herb. And I picked my Crazy Plant Happiness because those have got to be some herbaceous plants. What, dear?
I know what I would do, and Cheryl would kill me. She would flat out hunt me down and spank my bottom. I would
Cheryl?
stitch pot plant. The look on her face when I said that.
I know that one of the other possible potions was a truth serum that made everybody you talk to tell you the truth for 24 hours. And to achieve that, we had to stitch on something with something that lied in it. Or something that was lying in it. Some variation thereof lies. And I contemplated whether or not I thought Raven Queen could fly because Regina, I'm modeling it after Regina from Once Upon a Time, and Regina lies a lot.
Can I say my spiel on that one, or shut up, yo?
Say your spiel on that, Joe.
Technically, if you change the colors out in any stitch, you're lying because that's not what the original designer intended. Therefore, it is a lie. The design doesn't call for that color.
Could you be quiet down there, phone?
Your phone? It's being quiet by only ringing once every 20 minutes. Sometimes your group chats gets a little excitable.
So that's plans for the week. Announcements. Virtual retreat, November 6th, 7th, 8th. Sign up will close the 31st of October. Just so that I have time to make sure my list is right. I have time to get everything together. Yada, yada, yada.
This is the cat. I think he wants to claw my face off and picking him up like this.
I think so.
But he stays on my lap.
In-person retreat, April...
There he goes.
What, 8th, 9th, and 10th. I put a big, huge spiel up
On Facebook.
on Facebook in the retreat group. I talked to the hotel or to the event space coordinator because I booked in a room that was bigger than we actually needed. It kind of worked out for me because I ended up with I don't have to cut the number of attendees. I can still have 50 attendees, and we fall within the spatial guidelines. Actually, and I think in accordance with current guidelines, that's still technically under the maximum occupancy for the room. I don't know for sure. I just know she said 50 there's plenty of space for 50. We will have our vendor there. I'm pretty sure we'll have our vendor there. Shelley, we will be there, right? We will have our vendor there. We will have a brag table set up. That's gonna kind of depend on how many people, how much you can bring is gonna depend a little bit on how many people we have attending. If we do get into that higher range, it'll be a little bit more limited just because I want to make sure we have enough space for everybody.
Well, then you could probably just break people up and just have this time of this part of the day is for these people. Then next time is for the next group.
Well, what you do with a brag table is you bring it out, you set it on the table, and everybody goes and looks. And I'll have more information on that as we get closer to it.
She'll have more information on that after we move.
Pretty much. It'll be after we move. We are still doing goodie bags because goodie bags, raffles, door prizes. Most of it is all still sitting up in my house, and it's gonna move with me. It's sitting upstairs in my house. It's gonna move with me. So we have it, so it'll be there.
My back. It was funny.
The only other thing is the facility reinforced the fact that, yes, in accordance with current guidelines, you have to wear a face mask indoors, and it's an indoor event. So my spiel on the Facebook group was this: we are adults. We know we need to wear masks right now. If that carries into April, you know what you need to do. Factor that into your decision making. I know it's going to deter some people because they don't want to wear masks, and I'm sorry. I have to follow guidance given to us by the state and wear a face mask. So think about that before you decide to sign up, because it is going to be a factor. And while I'm not going to sit there and question every single person that doesn't come in with a face mask, I'm not going to say that
The facility people might,
the facility people might.
because they're the ones that'll have the state up their backside.
And I was told by the facility, in accordance with current guidelines, as it states right now, the mask order is indefinite until further notice. You have to wear a mask to be at an indoor event. My event could get shut down if people aren't wearing masks. End of story. End of spiel. It's in your brain if you're thinking about coming. Consider that. Please, because I want everybody to be an adult about the situation and understand that I don't make the rules. The shipyard doesn't make the rules. We simply must follow the rules if we want to operate my event. They want to operate their space.
If you want to get together and cross stitch, you gotta do what you gotta do.
And flat out, I will not allow bullying. And if I find out you're bullying,
I'll kick them out if you don't.
basically.
And
Right.
I don't care. If you do something that rude to a fellow attendee, no, you don't get a refund. Yes, you are out of the building, and I don't want to freaking hear it.
Well, I wasn't going to say it quite that harshly, but yeah.
I'm sorry. I dealt with that for most of my school life. I don't tolerate it.
Same. And most events that I have seen, people have been very respectful of the fact that these are the rules and we got to follow them if we want to have our
Thank God, I
events.
think almost everybody would show up and sit there and just be totally polite about it.
So,
Thank God.
end of spiel. And Bridget, your bag is sitting in my craft room waiting for me to mail it because I completely, absolutely forgot about it.
I'm getting her a post-it note machine and tattooing it to her head.
I was supposed to call my mother today and have her come over and help me start packing some stuff up. I talked to her about it yesterday afternoon. It wasn't even 24 hours. I forgot. All right, it is now 8 o'clock. I'm going to get this edited. I'm probably not going to get any more stitching done tonight. So, well, what do we want the people to do?
Like, share, comment, bell notification, thingy Bobby. We don't have any of that join stuff. We're not that big, not to mention I don't think I'd ever want to do that. This is what we do for fun. Even if we had a lot of subscribers, it's still what we do for fun.
You want to support the channel? Shop, fabric, bags, finishings,
In
bath and body
November.
products.
Because you can't make orders right now because we're packing up the craft room.
It's going to be like one of the last rooms to get packed up. But I will say finishings, I'm not doing until after we move. Bags, I do have a few already done. But yeah, if you want to support the YouTube channel, that's how you can support the YouTube channel, is support my business. Pretty simple. No Patreon, no
Membership. That's
membership.
No, it's just
And
buy our stuff.
And I realize, the guys the ones that do Patreon or memberships, they sometimes put out a special content. I'm sorry that I don't have the ability to do that in my life.
one,
But
this isn't big enough. Two, at least I like my day job. And three, the people who do Patreon, that is their job. And they put in more than 40 hours a week into their channels normally. Like, I actually heard one guy, he was talking about his channel. He puts in 50 to 60 hours combining just to make 6 30-minute videos. It takes him 50 to 60 hours.
all right, we will see y'all next week.
Bye, 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 bye. Bye, 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 bye.
It's not.
Did she just bump her head into it?
We're gonna edit this out.